Now, this is going to be a workflow recap. We are at the state where we've made our creative edits with this photograph. For this assignment, we made a black and white adjustment layer that was global. Then we made a couple adjustments to the photograph that were local after selecting and masking, or selecting an area and creating adjustments to that. And then we also did some local edits of burning and dodging. Now, we're still in Photoshop with our Photoshop document, and we haven't resized this image at all. I want you to get into the mindset of always thinking about your output and what's next. And the reason why we do that is, one, so we always know what size and format we're going to need to be at, but most importantly for me is that you're always thinking about what's next and starting with saving your file in that format with the hopes of not accidentally overwriting whatever image you're working on. So in this instance, we're going to skip over reformatting for print because we haven't gotten to that state yet, and my hope is later in the semester we will do some formatting for print, and you guys can do some print on demand, either online or at a local venue of sorts like Costco or Walgreens or anything that might work for you. Now, we're in Photoshop. I want to output as a JPEG for web. We're using JPEG because JPEG is going to allow us to compress the document and its file size to make it not only more portable and more readable online. It'll take up less data online, but it'll also load faster on our websites that way. But it also restricts the ability of someone to be able to download that photo and use it in the way that they'd like to, in essence, steal the image at a higher resolution. We're going to keep things lower there. Now, I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to first save my folder or my image in my folder for JPEG. You can also call this web if you like, or web JPEG. And I'm going to save it in that format in order to make certain that I don't accidentally save over my Photoshop document if I make any changes. So I'm going to go save here. It's going to ask me some image options. I like to max out the quality at 12. It doesn't really add that much data to the image. Now we're in JPEG, or it says it's still in Photoshop document right now, and the reason why it didn't switch, and it did actually save us, so if I right click on here and reveal this in Finder, it has me still in PSD because it's assuming I still want to make some creative edits in Photoshop. You can come over and you can see this JPEG now. Now, if I select this and open it, in my computer it opens up in preview, but I'm going to open it up into Photoshop. And you'll see that it'll open up as a separate file. Now, had I first flattened all of these layers, so I right-clicked on this set of lines here, I selected this set of lines and flatten. You can also find flatten up under Edit, or Layers, sorry, and Flatten. If I had flattened those layers and created just a single layer, which essentially keeps me from making adjustments to those edits that I already had with Photoshop, I then could save this as a JPEG again, and it would automatically create a JPEG up here. But I just wanted to show you that that's creating a completely separate file that we can work on now. And so you want to make sure that you're paying attention to where it says PSD here and JPEG here, and this is the one that we actually want to manipulate and edit to create a web image. So right now I'm in JPEG. I'm going to go to Image and Image Size, and because my image is horizontal, this is a little bit of review, I'm going to be able to go and automatically use some presets. This is a 1024 by 768. 1024 being our longest dimension here. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and you'll see it says 1024, 638 is what is proportionate on my image, and then at 72 resolution, which is web resolution or monitor or screen monitor resolution for most computers today. And what you'll see is that this file size jumped. It went from what was 103 megabytes when it was holding on to the size and all those edits, and went way down to 2 megabytes, which will be much better for processing and viewing online. So I wanted to show you this method first. I'm going to cancel out of here and show you again the more manual way of doing this. I'm in pixels right now. If I change this to 1024, which is my longest dimension, which is the width of this image, if my image was in portrait mode, where the height was the longest, I would want to change that to 1024. Now, the resolution here is at 300, but watch what happens again. If I hit 72, it's going to shrink it too small. So you have to make sure that you come back and hit 1024 or change 72 as your pixels per inch first and then change your width and height. The reason that's happening is because it assumes that you're changing, you're pulling out those pixels, and automatically there's not enough to make up for that image. So essentially we've done the exact same thing as our presets here, as our custom preset here. Just doing it manually shows you how resolution works somewhat. We're going to get more advanced with resolution later, so don't sweat that too much. Now if I hit OK, this should get significantly smaller. Right now we're viewing it at 33%. If I blew it up to 100%, there's what it would be at 100%. Again, this is a 2 megabyte document. If I check the image size again, I just want you to see that it's all 1024, 72 resolution. And now I can either save as if I'm anxious about that JPEG being in the correct place, or just hit save because I know I already saved that JPEG. Now, if I right click up here on my tab, I can say Reveal in Finder on a Mac, and it will show me where that image is. It should show up roughly that size on your screen when you publish it. Now, I'm going to go to our course WordPress, and I'm going to turn in this image on this assignment page. So if I went to my site, I'm going to create a page. This one I'm going to call long 1. Here, just for the sake of our demo, I'm going to say 1.3 or 2. I'm going to highlight that and bold it. Maybe I'll make that a header. And then I'm going to add this image. I'm going to add the media to my WordPress. So it uploads it here. Now notice, this is selected. If I inserted this single image, there it is. Now I can choose to edit or delete this. I can add a caption here if I wanted, so I could say this is 7 a.m. We're looking ahead to our next assignment. And I could hit update, and you see there's a caption down here that says 7 a.m. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this and assume that you have loaded more than one image. If I select all these images, you can see that I have 5 total now. You're going to have 10 for this for your previous assignment, and this one is going to be 24 coming up to for 1.3. I'm going to select all 5 of these, and you'll notice down here, once I've selected more than one of these images, there's one, it says continue. So I'm going to select continue, and it's going to create a web gallery out of these. Again, you have some customization here on your layout. You can edit up here in this edit tab next to preview. You can give captions. You can reorder the images by dragging and dropping. Then I'm going to select insert, and that's going to create a web gallery. And you can see that's a single object. I can edit or delete. If I edit, it takes me back here where I can again edit some of these. Say I don't want this image or this image. I can say update. Now it's got 3. And then if I preview here, there they are. Oh, the preview is not letting me do the... I'll go ahead and publish this so you guys can see. If I view this page now, select that, it makes it large. You can see I can... Here's the caption. Oh, down below here. Now, what I want from you again is to select this URL, copy it, and that is what you're going to turn in to me via our Google Classroom. Under the assignment, there's an ability to add a link. You're going to add that link, and that's what you're going to send to me to verify that you've done the assignment.